Hello, and welcome back to Chump Change. It's going to be episode 19, and I'm your host, Pree, and with me.
Lorenzo.
And this week, we have a really good list of topics to talk about this week. Let's see here. I am going to start off with slowing down, buckaroo.
I kind of want to talk about the Freddy Fazbear movie that was just announced yesterday.
And I actually also wanted to talk about our teen years in comparison to our current early 20s.
And then I also wanted to talk about scary USB port skimming, just because Linus Tech Tips and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have talked about it.
All these topics and more in this week's episode of Chump Change.
All right, so before we get into it, I actually have a little story I want to tell. Just because it was a very weird happenstance that I didn't expect to happen. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with my father and my partner recently.
Is that the one where everyone has the clip of Groot handing the raccoon a picture?
I think so.
Like the ship blows up and then the raccoon takes the picture. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if it's that. I don't remember what that is. That might be Volume 2.
Okay, sorry.
You'd have to show me what you're talking about. But so I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. No problems watching the movie, which is rare for me. I usually have something going on in the theater when I watch movies. But this time, no hiccups. I just had a nice night with my father and my girlfriend. And when we're leaving, Moon says that she has to use the restroom. Mind you, we went to our hometown for the movie. So we went and we had dinner before, and my girlfriend drank a lot. So by the time we got out of the movie, she had to use the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
Two things occur immediately after this. She hands me the bucket because I bought her one of the special Guardians of the Galaxy buckets for the popcorn.
Oh, okay.
She hands me her bucket. She walks off. I go stand at the front of the movie theater where the bar is with my dad. And this old lady walks up, like I want to say mid-60s. She walks up to me. She was like, "Do you think they'd care if I got ice?" And I kind of just look over my shoulder at her because I was facing away from the exit of the theater and talking to my dad. I kind of look over my shoulder. I'm like, "I'm sorry?" And I was confused because I thought she was thinking I was an employee, but I was wearing the D's Nuts merch shirt. So there's no way she thought I was a movie employee. And she said it again. She was like, "Do you think they would care if I went behind the counter and got some ice for my cup?" I'm like, I'm not going to tell you no. I don't work here. So the lady disappears. She crawls underneath the ropes and stuff that are blocking off the line because this is like 11, 12-ish at night by the time we're leaving.
Oh, okay. So like closing time.
Yeah. It's already past close. The concessions is done. The lady crawls under the rope. She disappears into the back to go get herself some ice because the ice machine in the line actually wasn't working.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why she specified going behind the counter to get the ice. So I start talking to my father again, and then I realized when Moon said that she had to go to the bathroom, I thought we were in the, if you're facing the front of the theater, we went to our theater on the left side where the men's restroom is.
Yeah.
She handed my stuff and then disappeared, but I thought she went into that bathroom since we were next to it. But because I didn't pay attention, I was thinking she went in there, and I look at my dad, I'm like, "Did Moon go in that bathroom?" And he was like, "No, question mark?" And I'm like, the identifiers for the bathroom are above where we were standing. I don't know if she knew that. Because I don't think there's a sign next to, like, you know, like that theater has, like, just the opening. You just go in.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything indicate, like, there's no, like, the feely things for blind people. I don't think there's anything right there. So I was confused for a second because I don't recall seeing her walk in front of us to go to the other side of the theater. And I don't recall seeing her cut through the employee section to go on the other side. So I'm just kind of sitting there laughing in my head. I'm like, I think she went in that bathroom. My dad sees content. He pulls out his phone, camera ready, and goes, stands next to the benches next to that bathroom to catch her walking out. After he steps away from me, the old lady returns. And she says, so what did you just come out of watching? And I'm like, oh, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Verbatim. That was the movie I've ever seen. And I'm immediately taking, like, super emphasis on like, that was the movie I've ever sine. And I'm taken aback. I'm like, oh, excuse me, ma'am. That was a Marvel movie. That's the gospel. I laughed it off, though. I was like, yeah, like, there was a lot going on. I can understand if you're not, like, a fan of the content. You wouldn't really be into it. But immediately after I said that to her, I'm like, wait, this old lady's alone. No one's with her. If she thought it was a bad movie, why'd she see it? Who'd she see this movie for?
And it isn't like they got the early bird gets the worm ticket, you know?
Right, because she went in the middle of the night to go watch it. So I'm just like, yeah, you know, I can see it being rough to watch if you're not, like, into it. And she just starts laying into the movie. And I'm kind of just standing there looking over her shoulder at my dad. My dad's laughing, staring at me, uncomfortable from this lady. Just, like, not only was she, like, talking bad about the movie, she was, like, inches from me. She was all up in my mix.
Did she get her cup of ice?
She did. She did have her cup of ice.
Oh, okay.
I also think
she succeeded.
I also think she got a refill of cherry Coke because she had, like, a dark reddish liquid in her cup.
Hey, you know, she's already there. You know, she might as well.
Cinemark movie theaters, if you know who that old lady is, charge her for an extra large cup. Anyways, so this lady was all up in my mix. She was giving me the business about the movie. And my dad's over there laughing his ass off. And I don't know what to do about the situation. I see Moon coming from the right side where the ladies' restroom actually is. And as soon as she gets close enough, I put my arm over her shoulder. I wave my dad. I'm like, all right, everybody, we're here. Let's go. And the lady keeps talking to me as I'm walking away.
Look, man, that lady just wanted to talk to somebody. You know, I don't want to say you were a victim, but, you know, you could have just, you know, helped her out. You've been like, hey, look, ma'am, you came here alone. You know what? I hate that movie, too.
So,
yeah.
If you just want to make idle chit chat with people or you're lonely, we've had people, like, just talk to us in public before. We've made idle chit chat with people out.
Mm-hmm.
That was not, like, I don't want to make it seem like a victim situation. I thought it was funny. And I literally wanted to record the podcast because we recorded the podcast last week. This happened the day after. The next day this happened to me. And the next day was our normal recording day. That was Friday.
Yeah.
And Thursday. We recorded a day early last week. And I was so sad because I was like, oh my God, I want to record the podcast because there's no way this happened after I just talked on the podcast. And then I had to sit here and stare at it. I stared at this note in the Discord for an entire week, waiting for this moment.
Hey, man, you know, I'm not going to lie with you. You know, I'm not the biggest moviegoer.
No, you're not really a movie consumer.
But I do have a question.
What's up?
Are you guilty of hopping in the movie theater after you paid for one ticket?
Like going to a different theater?
Yep.
No, I've never done that.
Not different theater, but, you know, like a different room.
Oh, like yeah, no.
Movie hopping?
Like if I buy the 1:30 ticket, like I just stay for the next showing?
Oh, dude, you know, I never thought about doing that. You know, because, you know, the people come in.
Yeah.
And then they start sweeping up the floor.
Well, technically, if you walk out, you go get your snacks and stuff, you just walk back in. No one's going to stop you. Sometimes they do have the ushers out, but like 9 times out of 10, I've noticed people don't really have the guy that rips your ticket.
Oh.
And I think part of it might just be COVID, but like limit the exposure people could have. But I don't know. I can't say that I have. I know a lot of people who they will do stuff like that, and I'm not really willing to go into another movie theater or a different showing of something, just because that's like a. I'm willing to support the people who made the project.
Yeah.
So that I don't know. It's a weird one, just because like the people I do know, they're like, oh man, we saw John Wick 2 and Disney's Pixar's Moana at the same time. I'm like, that's yeah, cool, cool.
Hey man, I'm a big drive-through goer.
Mm,
Even the drive-in movie theater.
mm.
In the car, so I don't got to get out, Big Chump style. Anyways, those actually usually have the two movie combo,
Yeah.
and I think that's really cool.
It's also just hard though. Like I'm someone whose attention span is very hard to capture. Like I'll find myself getting like my dad actually he slapped my knee the other or when we saw the movie because I was doing my little ADHD thing where I start
Oh,
like
you were doing the shaky leg.
yeah, I was doing the shaky leg. And my dad thought I was anxious for some reason, and I was like, no, I'm not anxious. That one's just ADHD.
Dude, I'm anxious, bro. You see Groot on the screen? You see the raccoon? I'm anxious. Wait, no, the rat. This the movie about the raccoon, right? He finds out if he's a raccoon or not.
Everyone knew he was a raccoon, but yeah, he gets
Well, he didn't know he was a raccoon.
he gets confirmation he is a raccoon. Yes.
Yeah, he got identity crisis. The only reason why I know is because my sister told me about the synopsis of the movie.
Oh man, she spoiled it. No. That was the one you were gonna watch.
Yeah, dude. I was almost there. I saw that raccoon. I was like, you know what? Maybe the raccoon gonna get me into this one.
That raccoon goes and saves little raccoons, like little raccoon babies. He becomes a
How
mom.
small are they? You know how small he is?
Yeah, no, he's tiny. They're tinier.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, besides that weird experience, very good movie. I very much enjoyed it. There was a lot of movies or moments where they tried to like punch you in the gut, and there was one moment where my dad actually started tearing up. My dad started
Oh,
tearing up, and I was like, "Aw,
man, he saw
dude."
the little raccoon. He was tearing up.
No, there was actually a moment that I was like, "Oh, that sucks." But
All right, you know what? Not a spoiler. Spoiler cut here. Tell me what happened.
spoiler cut. I mean
Spoiler cut right here. Spoiler alert. Go ahead.
The main character starts to die. Like he does a situation where, huh?
The human, right?
Yeah, the Chris Pratt's character.
Oh.
So Chris Pratt's character doesn't have a space helmet, and he drops his iPod as he's jumping out of a blowing up ship into his ship. And because he went back to get the iPod, he got the iPod for the raccoon. Because the raccoon started stealing his iPod and really liked it. He jumped back to go get the iPod because it fell. Just for the raccoon.
Oh man, it's all about the raccoon.
But because he jumped back to get the iPod, you could start seeing his face swell up and stuff, and he starts freezing because of the vacuum of space, and he doesn't have his helmet.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his helmet anymore, so he wasn't protected. And my dad thought he was actually gonna die there, and he was like actually tearing up, and I was like, "Aw, Dad."
Hey man, when the Wahoo man goes down, it's real serious business.
I really like there's this last spoiler thing I do. It's not really a spoiler though. Vin Diesel finally gets another line in the movie. In 3 movies, he gets a different line.
Vin Diesel?
Yeah, he says, instead of saying "I am Groot," he says, "I love you guys," and everybody just looks at him like, "Ain't
That's
no
Vin
way."
Diesel?
Yeah, that's Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel has been Groot the entire time.
I would have never knew.
It was like heavily promoted in the first one.
I thought he was just a tree.
Nah, that's Groot.
Family.
That's Groot Toretto.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's really awesome. I didn't know that.
But I thought that was a really funny moment because like we've come to expect "I am Groot" every time, and then he'll throw out like the "We are Groot" or like the little bit of change to it. This dude just said an entire different sentence this time. Said "I love
He's
you
really
guys."
growing up, ain't he?
I thought he looked funny the entire movie too, because his head isn't full grown yet, so he looks like if you took Broly's body but you put the Sackboy from Little Big Planet's head on top of him.
Oh man, I love that game.
I thought that was the funniest thing ever. Like every time I saw Groot in the frame, I just started laughing. My dad was like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "He's just a little guy. He's just so goofy."
Poor guy getting bullied for being little Groot.
Man. But yeah, that's my Guardians of the Galaxy take.
Alrighty, so segueing from the lady who was bashing, just reeling it in there on the Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel movie. Alright, so I was looking up comparisons, right? You know, like if you compare yourself to someone else, you know, there's the downfall of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you feel worse because you're not as good as somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you make yourself feel better because there's always going to be someone below you as well as above you.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking at the NewYorkTimes.com right here, right? This guy talks about most of us think we're above average, called the Lake Wobegon effect. I don't know if I said Wobegon right. I don't know if that is what it is. But it means we tend to overestimate where we stand in comparison to other people. So people aren't necessarily looking at how much they're actually saying than other people, but how much they thought they were saying.
Mm.
Man, that's something interesting, huh?
Yeah.
You know. See what I think about, right? I like to think that I am a little above average. And you know that's normal in comparison to what these people right here are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the majority of us think we're better than other people. I'm just not gonna rub it into somebody else's face.
Yeah, there's like two parts of it, right? Because you can rest on your laurels and you can think that you're above average based on whatever skills or whatever you have going on. But then it's do you like brag because of your slightly above averageness, or do you just exist?
Yeah, see, and then I'm brought back from cloud 9 whenever I see everybody else, and I'm like, still fat chump, huh? Still big chump.
Mm. Yeah,
That's the best part about it.
I think gamers have that problem the most of all people. Like of all normal people, I think gamers have that issue the most.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm bronze, and I'm like, man, dude, my teammates suck.
Yeah.
But then, you know, we forget, you know, we're bronze for a reason, you know.
Mm. I noticed it a lot in Valorant. I'm sure that, you know, Rainbow Six, League of Legends, like everything that's competitive has some form of it. But the one that I noticed the most is like, because obviously I can tracker.gg and see what someone's rank in a previous act was.
Yeah.
And I'll see like, oh, this gold guy, he's bronze now. Like, oh, that sucks. He probably like got bad matchup on selections.
Yeah.
Or placements, and then you see how they behave in the game, and you're like, okay, this guy just kind of he thinks he's him, and like irritated people or dragged himself down because like he thought he was the guy.
Yeah. So my reminder to all of us: slow down, Buckaroo.
Mm.
The world's still gonna be there for us. You know. We gotta just keep it moving along.
No, that's why I'm trying to run at light speed, man, because I know the world's gonna keep spinning after I'm in the dirt. I'm trying to.
Oh yeah, and then you gonna be turning in your grave, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want.
I want to run so fast. I'll leave something behind along the way, and someone will be like, "Ah, that's neat."
Hey, did you ever want to do one of those actually? What is it called? It's called geo trackers. I think that's what it's called.
I've heard of them. I'm not super clear on what they are.
So, apparently, it's a really fun game where they have little nice knickknacks or some sort. Like a treasure hunt,
Yeah.
basically.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie with you. I don't think they have like a leaderboard or anything like that. I think it's like more like a haha,
No, you
passing it
like
back to you.
yeah, like the pleasure is in the experience, not really what you got out of it.
Yeah, man. Would you like
And
to?
also, please don't keep the thing.
Oh yeah, no. What's that? There was one card game that was like that, and then it was like track this card.
Hmm.
So basically, like there would be like something to do on the card, and then it would be like put this in someone's purse or whatever, and then you take pictures of the card,
Uh-huh.
and then you're actually able to track where that card goes because
Oh.
it sends a link to the
That
website. There's a QR code.
with modern stuff like technology and people already being creeps with AirTags, that's scary. That's really scary.
Hey, think about it, man. That's pretty fun. Everyone gets to have fun, even though they don't want to get their random card stuck into someone's purse.
I was gonna say, imagine you put the card in someone's purse, and that lady is like the lady that switches out. She doesn't use the same bag in like a 5 month span because she has so many different bags.
Yeah, man.
So the card's just in the wind for like half a year.
Yeah.
That's where the game ends. Lady with too many purses. That's cool. I would want to do something like that, like an ARG or like a national or global scale like treasure hunt based on like merch or something that we make.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Leave little water in note in a bottle,
Mm.
send it out to the ocean, and contribute to the crisis we got going on in the ocean.
Yeah. Something I actually really want to do. It's just a bit beyond me in terms of the coding and stuff. I'd really want to make like a proper battle city just for like funsies for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Ah, Yu-Gi-Oh.
There's like so many things that you'd have to make work to make it like an immersive experience though.
Oh yeah, like AR.
Yeah, like AR stuff or like and a lot of I've seen a lot of videos of people who are working on like functional dual discs, but there's like every day that passes by there's a new innovation that makes the technology that they use obsolete or it could be done better or smaller.
Yeah, man. Imagine all of us play Yu-Gi-Oh on the Quest Pro. You know,
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Well, not even the Quest Pro, right? Because upcoming video that I'm gonna film, the glasses that I have, you could easily put a little computer, like a Raspberry Pi sized computer, into a dual disc, and then you could have a port where those glasses that I own have, or they jack in, and it projects based on what like the FOV of the glasses actually does. It projects what you need to see.
See?
And then your job as the wearer of the glasses is just line up your markers or whatever.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Or you can make it a little more sensitive by putting a potentiometer on the glasses. So when you turn away, it like rotates the what you're actually looking at.
Yeah.
Because on like adding a really little thing that gives you that metric would be pretty easy for something that small already. So I think it'd be cool, but it's like as grand of a scale as it would be. Konami would have to be involved. A lot of developers would need to be paid, and then enough of the thing would need to be manufactured for people to be able to participate. And then all the areas you're able to do it in would have to be marked off, so it's not like I'm gonna do it on the street and get hit by a car.
It's gonna be like Pokemon Go.
Yeah, oh, and then doing it inside the car or on an actual motorcycle would be a thing too. I don't know.
Really, Yu-Gi-Oh 5D is that?
I think there's a lot of ways that you could step up Yu-Gi-Oh as a spectator sport, and I think it'd be really cool to do. Another thing that I thought about back like a long time ago was like we can project onto like glass and plastic and stuff.
Yeah.
Technically, doesn't that mean we could turn like a proper football stadium with a stage on it into like an actual dual arena?
Hey man, Hatsune Miku holograms, those exist.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Imagine we have a whole hologram Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Link tournament.
but again, people would have to be involved to make it official, legal, and a lot of people would have to work on it to make it function as designed.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to make it, you'd have to find a way to make everyone's cards, like old and new, work with it.
Oh yeah, the same animation for Mystical Elf.
Yeah. Because the biggest thing is like everyone's like, oh well, you can put NFC chips or tags in the back of your sleeves. Okay, but then you have a thing that where you can feel it and you could tell the difference of a card based on the position of your thing.
Yeah.
Just
That's okay. We're gonna make Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose in real life. Just wait.
Oh my god! In real
Just
life,
wait. Just wait.
That's just dungeon dice monsters.
That's exactly what we want.
I can't wait till we play that game on a recording. That'd be that, huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
That'd be a fun game to play on recording.
Oh yeah, Dungeons and Dice Monsters.
The Duelist of the Rose, just because like we've had everything we need to record a PlayStation game for a while. We just haven't had you and me in the same spot to record it.
Oh yeah, buddy, we're gonna be playing that game 2 weeks from now.
Hating our lives. But yeah.
Alrighty. So, going on to Lorenzo's topic here, I want to introduce it. So, if you watched the Sonic video, Lorenzo makes a reference to FNAF.
Mm.
And he told me to watch this trailer for Freddy Fazbear movie. What were your thoughts on the trailer, Lorenzo?
I thought it was really funny. I thought it looked like a D tier film, like a D tier horror film.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of stuff, like if you follow the lore or you played any of the games, a lot of the stuff is visibly different. But I'm kind of like it's a situation where I'm willing to just sit through it, see how it plays out, and maybe it's something that's like funny if I don't like it, like funny enough for me to come back to it. Because also like the lore of that game is just so expansive, and at times it's not even clear what is supposed to be happening. So for them to make a movie based off of it is a bit of a wild ride there. But I think they had the original like creator of the game franchise on set, like helping direct it.
How many games are there, by the way?
For I think there's 13 or 14 games.
I'm sorry, 14 games?
I'd have to look at Steam.
What do they change?
Because I know
Is it
there's
the same game every time?
I know there's the original 4. No, it's not the same game every time. I know there's the original 4. Hold on, 5.
All I remember, right? All I remember is you look at security cameras, and then you watch the Freddy Fazbears come get you.
5 Nights at Freddy's.
See, when I go to
1,
Chuck E. Cheese,
2,
right?
3, 4.
I always get scared at those guys too. Whenever they be staring at me. When I was a kid trying to eat my cheese pizza.
There's 7, 8.
My dad brought
9.
his gambling addiction to Chuck E. Cheese, so he would play the one like Wheel of Fortune type of game, and then he would just sit there with like $300, and he just played Wheel of Fortune.
So there's there's 9 that I picked like out by just watch, or 10 if I include the mobile game that got shut down.
There's a mobile game?
There was a mobile game that was like Pokemon Go. So there's 10 plus the VR version got a DLC release, which is like almost like a full game on its own.
That's pretty cool.
That's just what I can see by skimming the Steam page for the franchise. So there could be more, but I think 10 games over the last however long, that's a pretty long time. That's a lot of games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where'd the other? Huh?
Wait, I mean, hold on. It shouldn't be that long. Were they just cranking out the games here?
Because the sister one was 5. Ultimate Custom Night was. Oh, the other one got taken down too. The baby looking one. And then there was a bunch of in between games that was like promotional material.
See, look, so it was released on 2014, August 8th.
The first one?
Yep.
It's a long time ago.
That's barely 9 years ago.
Long time ago.
That's one game a year. They cranking out a game. Dude, they're making more games than Call of Duty.
Officially, there's 9 games.
That is insane to me.
Yeah. That's just what Wikipedia has to offer too. I don't know if that's including any of the like side stuff that doesn't like it's not actually a part of the whatchamacallit.
Yeah, for
And
part
then
of the main story.
and then a ton of books. An ungodly amount of books.
What kind of books are we talking here?
So
Are we talking picture books? Or are we talking
no, like
just
novels,
words on a page?
like actual novels.
Oh, sheesh.
1, 2, 3. There was a graphic novel. Here, I'll do it by the books, just because there's a lot of like the books start becoming anthologies with multiple stories. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books.
Wow.
Yeah. Or at least 9 years worth of books. I don't know if the tracking for this is accurate. 9 years worth of books at least.
All right, so could you give me a synopsis on the story?
Bad at pizza restaurant. He wasn't good at what was it called? Coaster, the game, the video game, the Coaster Tycoon. He's bad at Coaster Tycoon, but for pizza restaurant, he gets mad because the other guy is good at pizza restaurant. So he kills the good guy's, the not scrub guy's daughter. And then he accidentally kills his own daughter. And then he just starts killing everyone.
And then they become the animatronics.
Yeah, and then the not scrub guy ends up burning him when he didn't die in the suit. Because he killed everyone in bunny suit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot of game theory that I'm sure you sat through.
Yeah. MatPat GT makes probably like 50 videos a year on Five Nights at Freddy's alone.
My goodness.
Actually, just because I made the joke now, how many MatPat GT videos are there on Five Nights at Freddy's? Game theory FNAF. Just because I'm curious. And I'm willing to burn a little bit of time to actually... 88 videos. They made 88 videos.
Hey, man, so...
Ranging from 15 minutes to an hour. 2 hours. 2.5 hours. Depending on if it was a live stream or if it was like a proper video. Isn't there a feature that tells you how long a playlist is?
All right. So while you're looking at that.
Uh-huh.
So you're not the biggest fan of horror games.
Not really, no.
Or horror in general.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever watch the cooking companion Chompettes?
No. I think we talked about it though.
All right, that means we got to play it, man. You got to play it on the channel.
No, I'm okay.
We got to include horror. We got to cater to everyone. You know?
How about during
Not saying we're a variety channel.
How about
What I am saying is I'm down to play some horror games.
How about during October, you and I will both play one scary game per week?
What?
Yeah.
Man, you know how scary it's going to be walking outside? You don't know what crazy people there are in October?
It's okay. We're going to be contributing to the spooky month.
You know what? That's a good point right there. I'll take that.
So if you want me to play spooky games, save them for October, because that's when we'll do it. But yeah.
Alright, just gonna throw in a random fun fact here.
Okay.
Talking about cleaning out the closet full of skeletons. Did you know that today, May 18th, is National No Dirty Dishes Day?
That's crazy.
Did you know that? Did you clean your dirty dishes today?
I did, actually.
Good job. See, look. See? It holds true. See, look. See, and then on the post, right? It says hashtag celebrate every day.
Yeah,
look at that.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I have the battery capacity for that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of battery capacity, it has dwindled over the years for me. So why don't we talk about our teen years to our current 20s?
Okay, all right. So, do you think that much has changed from 4 years ago, because we're currently, 22, 23?
Yep.
So do you think much has changed between our teens versus right now?
Yes. 1,000,000%. So much has changed between turning 18 and right now. So, yes.
All right. So, I'm on the Odyssey online, right? 4 ways the 20s are better than your 10s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to say teens, but it says 10s.
Technically, that's still correct. Technically.
So because we're not really big on dating, right? I'm just gonna skip that one. How about partying?
Hey, no. Actually, no. Backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about dating,
okay.
Pree.
All right. You want to
Hey,
talk about dating?
Pree, how do
Okay.
you feel about dating? Do you miss
Right.
Do you miss the fact that you didn't get to date around?
Let's see here. Look Look. What do you mean by date around?
Like, you've had the same partner, right? You've had the same girlfriend for.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever wish that you had a chance to date other girls? To meet other personalities? I think I know the answer just because of your preference of lifestyle, but it's worth worth asking.
Because the podcast doesn't have any camera, right? I'm staring at the camera as if there's a gun pointed at my
Noggin.
my person here, at my dome, right?
Does she listen to the podcast?
My answer is gonna be I'm a loyal person. That's my answer.
I don't think that question dictates like not being loyal. It's just it's something that most people our age have gone through, or like it's pretty rare for someone to say that they have their high school sweetheart as their longtime partner, right?
Yeah.
And both you and I can say that.
You know the best way to put it, right? I'm Big Chump, right? I wasn't the best looking Big Chump.
Oh man, he's back in scrub
nor
mode.
the most charismatic Big Chump.
What do you mean? You're oozing.
But you know what I will say about me, Big Chump?
What's up, man?
I am a loyal Big Chump.
You don't think you have Riz, man?
I didn't say that. What I said was, I'm not the type of person to be trying to go around the town.
Well, no, because you said you didn't have the most charisma. That's why I asked. Do you think you don't have the Riz?
No. Well, you see, I'm not saying, I was over there fishing with the net, I was just saying I was fishing with a pole. I couldn't pull up multiple fish at one time. That's what I was going for.
But these days you just look at the lake. You don't throw the rod back in the lake.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm just sightseeing.
Yeah, you're just observing the craftsmanship of the dock.
Yeah. See, so right now I got both of my hands making binoculars.
Mm, mm, mm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what was that second reason that our 20s are better than our 10s?
Partying.
Yeah, I'm already over that.
You're over partying?
Yeah, I got through my partying phase pretty fast actually.
Did you want to talk about our experience on Saturday?
Was that this last Saturday? No.
Saturday?
Oh my god, it's Thursday. That was last
Yes, it
Saturday.
was.
Oh my goodness. Um we went out to like this bar turned club situation in sunny San Jose.
Uh-huh.
And we all sat down after we had a drink. The entire time.
Well, hold on. I'll back it up here. So,
Uh-huh.
we got there.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
I got charged $10.
It was not early.
Lorenzo went
It
in
wasn't
after
early.
me.
It wasn't early.
Lorenzo got charged $15.
It wasn't early.
I said, "Is it because he's bigger than me?"
Yeah,
And then
dude.
the lady
no.
laughed.
No. Yeah, this motherfucker tried to BM me to the fucking lady taking in the admissions. You know what the
lady
worst?
laughs it
You know
off.
what the worst part about it is? He's the one who gave the cash for me. He handed her the 20 spot for me. He's like, "Oh man, it's cause he's big, huh?" I looked at him. I'm like, "I almost told you don't give her the 20. I almost walked away.
Oh man! So what's interesting was across the street, it was free to get in.
It's not that it was free. So the way that it worked when I bounced in Sunnyvale was the cutoff to start charging people was 10 o'clock. That's roughly when we made it there. Sometimes we would have pushed to 10:30 if it was slow. So what I think happened, because people started going across the street too. Like they got filled up pretty fast. I think because it was 10, the dude ID'd you. Because no one was in there, he said, "Yeah, you're just going to the bathroom, man. Just go ahead." Because I would do that for people. I'd let people go in to use the restroom. I'd give them like 5 minutes. If they didn't come out, I'd go find them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's more of a courtesy as a bouncer. Like, yeah, if you just got to piss, dude, just go. But you still got to make sure the person's 21.
Yeah.
But definitely the place that we were going had a super long line as we got in, and then they just hit, because the way that the guy that like did the check on us, the body check, he asked after our friend in front of me if it was cut off to start charging more, or if they wanted to halt so they can let some people come out. And the lady said, "No, it's fine. We're just gonna go to regular admission." And then I stepped up, and then you BM'd me in front of her. Rude.
Hey, it was fair because I spotted you that 20 spot.
Man. And then I bought you a drink.
See what made me sad, right, was we walk up to the bar, and man, I don't know if it was just me. I felt like I was standing there for quite a while.
Yeah. So it was weird, right? The bar that we were at, because it was normally a restaurant, the bar wasn't inherently like against the wall. The bar was more of like a centerpiece for when there's games.
Yeah.
And because of the bar being on an island, they had the bar backs in there. So the bar seemed more staffed than it was. There was actually only 3 girls working the bar.
Insane. Dude. Well, see, what made me upset, right, was, I am the person to, take my drink and walk away. There wasn't like a keep this aisle clear area.
On the other side,
very,
on the side where you
yeah.
and I started, it wasn't, because there was 2 groups of girls just like sitting at the bar. They'd slam the drinks and then they'd ask for another round.
Like I was like, dude,
because Pree walked
please.
away from the group before I did. I followed Pree, because buddy system when you're at a club, don't walk off alone. So I followed him to the other side of the bar. And we probably stood there for a solid 15 minutes trying to get by these people sitting there. And they just didn't let up. And then everyone in our group got a drink at the bar. And I was like, all right, man, come on. Let's just go with our friends and order a drink after them.
very misfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was because it was weird. Security kept actually ushering people out of the way on the other side though. So
Yeah.
it was weird that they were allowing seats to be done, but then they also collected the seats on the side where our friends were at. Which,
Yeah. And then I guess they just brought him outside.
yeah, so that was something that we did too, but we wouldn't let the pub transform into like club mode until all the furniture and the bar stools were removed from the premises.
Mm.
So put as much as you can in the back, put as much as you can on the patio, which was unfortunate for them because they didn't really have a patio. They had like a walled off section,
Yeah.
just because their location was in front of where a tram was, so they didn't really get the privilege of extra space. But it was really weird because like by the time we already got our drinks, they were collecting stools out from under people, which in my mind you should have done before the club opened. So yeah, very weird.
Interesting turn of events.
Very weird experience. Very happy experience though. A lot of crazy stuff happened, but what I took away from it when I got home that night was I got to send off a friend, and I felt real good about that because I don't normally go out. If I can avoid it, I try and be at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that one. You know, sometimes you got to live a little.
Yeah,
If that's what you call living.
it's
I'd
just,
rather see myself somewhere else. But
it's weird just because like it was a little disorienting being in that environment again after not being in that environment.
especially because you were a worker
Yeah.
in that sort of environment too.
Well, and then when things started jumping off, I very much wanted to assist, but it was like if I jump in as a civilian, I'm causing more problems than I'm assisting with.
Yeah.
Especially because the police arrived, and then that would have been like, all right, everyone, we got to wait for Lorenzo to get questioned on what happened.
Yep.
Um, it was scary though because like when stuff started jumping off at different times, like people in our party disappeared from where they were,
Yeah.
and it was like, was so and so right there when they trounced over the freaking barriers?
Yeah.
Because there was a fight that like knocked over every barrier on the patio, and then like it was weird. So there was like 3 security guards that we saw rotating constantly, but when the major fight of the night broke out, like 20 dudes came out of the back. Like the cooks dropped what they were doing, the dishwasher stopped what he was doing. Everyone ran out front. I'm like, where were these guys the whole time?
Yeah.
Because there was a dude giving us shit at the exit because he was like, we're short staffed tonight. Stop leaning on the table. Stop leaning on the barrier. And like we weren't leaning on the table or sitting on the tables or leaning on the barriers. But these 2 like really small girls ended up sitting on one of the tables next to our friend. They broke the table and slammed their head on the tabletop as it came down. And the security guard right next to them looked at all of us and said, I told you fuckers not to sit on the tables. And I just looked at him. I'm like, do you see my big fat ass on that table? No, I'm not the one who broke it. You don't see me like the guy from TikTok. That would be my big fat ass. Mm-hmm. No, that wasn't me. The irony that 2 small girls are the one that broke it too. Like that killed me.
That's insanely sad.
Which
It's fortunate.
it's crazy because it makes me laugh more because if had I sat on it, everyone would have known because the table would have broke and I would have fell.
Man, there would have been an earthquake too, brother. Man.
Okay, listen here. Listen here. You've been having a real gas with me today. What's up? What's going on here?
Oh man.
What we talked about this last week already. You feel like a scrub, so you try and make me feel like garbage. What's up? What's happening, man?
You know what's also interesting, right? I was not expecting the amount of people that are like me that don't really like. I was standing out a lot. You know, it's very apparent that that's not my part of the crowd.
At the club?
But at the club, you know, it's interesting because like the more I actually looked around at everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of them too. I wasn't alone.
yes, and I just because I feel like most friend groups have the guy that's a little more reserved and just like chilling.
Yeah, even in the girl groups, I was like,
Yeah.
wow, she looks like she doesn't want to be there, but she's there.
Well, because like you need the DD and then you need the group mom or the group dad.
Mm,
Not everyone can be
that's true.
busting it down like Tatiana. I mean, look at your friend that you work with. We ended up
That's
having
true.
to we had to drive him home in his own car. How you get Ubered home in your own car?
Hey, we both made it to work that day, like 4 hours later, 5 hours later.
Yeah, that was insane to me. Did he sober up by the time he got to work, or
Nah, he was still feeling it, but we got through the shift.
you gave him a black coffee and a wash rag? He said, "All right, get to work."
Basically.
Man, but yeah, that was a fun experience. Let's jam through the last two things.
Alrighty, so we got comparing, but I think I talked about comparisons enough. The last one is career. So
Yeah.
a little more insight here. So as they say, in your teens, you didn't want a job, but you needed to pay for gas, clothes, budget, whatever. So you went to work because of the responsibility that you needed to do.
Right.
And then they say in your 20s, you... Okay, this is kind of incorrect here. As soon as you walk across the stage to get your college degree, you officially become independent. Congratulations, you officially start adulting. I think that college degree isn't exactly adulting. But what's your take on that?
Adulting's weird, right? Because I find moments where I like very much am still my old self. Like, I feel like I'm still 19 and I'm just kind of like letting the world pass through me, right?
Yeah.
But then there's moments where I'm like, oh, dude, I'm an adult. Like, I bought curtains, but like I bought blackout curtains for the sake of us doing stuff in my living room for filming.
Yeah.
To rebuild the set if we want to, or just to hang out in there, keep it heat out, keep the noise in. But when I bought the curtains, I didn't just buy whatever blackout curtains Amazon recommended to me. I looked for the blackout curtains that I liked. I looked for a curtain rod that I liked. And I was like, oh, dude, this is like the stuff my mom used to tell me. Like, it matters what you put in your house. It makes you feel different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so in that sense, I very much feel like I'm adulting. I mean, anyone can say, like, oh, I pay the PG&E. Oh, I pay my Xfinity. Oh, I pay my car note, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't just pay for my home that I live in. I pay to live in my home. I've made my home comfortable not just for me, but for the other person and the dog that live in the home.
Yeah. I want to say adulting is very loose term. Yeah.
You curate your environment and what you surround yourself with if you're an adult. Like earlier today.
That's true.
What did I tell you about my car earlier today? I want to get a skirt to make my bummy car look like a little more regular and nice, and I want to go redo my paint job. So I'm sitting in that car. I'm like, this is a nice car.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, there's still interior stuff that needs to work, but it's little steps, right? My house wasn't populated with the furniture from day one. It was little steps I had to take. I think adulting is very much how you present yourself to the world and what you surround yourself with. And also who you surround yourself with.
Oh, yeah. You surround yourself with Tatiana.
Yeah,
you might have a really good time and a really bad time at the same time.
It's like getting drunk or high, right? Short term, good time. Long term, 50-50, bro. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
It was crazy, right? So, in high school, I felt like I wasn't as competitive as I am now.
Yeah.
Like, back in high school, it was a lot like, hey, man, you living? I'm living? We living? All right, cool, No. And then when we started going into, like...
You just reminded me.
When we moved out...
Uh-huh.
When we moved out, I was like, all right, look, check it out. The race has begun.
Yeah.
We got to go.
Well, and what's crazy about that is I got that, 2 years before you?
Yeah.
Cause out of high school or out of trade school, I got kicked out of my mom's apartment, my grandma's apartment, by my mom. And then I was living with my pops. Or I was squatting at my girlfriend's house for a couple months. Then I ended up moving in with my pops. I rented my first room in someone's house on my own, and then I ended up renting 2 bedrooms for my auntie in Nevada. But it was always, what's the next move? What's the next play?
Yeah.
How do I build upon this, or how do I protect it so I have some time to bolster what I need to do to continue going to the next play.
Yeah.
And even moving in with you from Nevada back to California, it was the same thing. It was, all right, Pree, what's the next play? Do we hang out here? Do we go our separate ways? Are we going to link back up and try renting a house instead of just the apartment?
Yeah.
Because it's always, in the sense of living in the apartment with you, it was I was going to clown you when you said hey, you're living, I'm living, we're living. Because you used to actually say, you were super into Spanish at the time. You were like, nosotros, oh my god, I forget exactly. But it was like the effect of what you said, but in Spanish.
Mm.
And almost like a mi casa, su casa situation.
Mm.
But very much when we lived together, it was hey, I'm living, you're living. You don't have a part of the rent? Cool, cover the utilities. I'll handle your rent.
Yeah.
Or whatever you're short on, I'll handle it. You cover the next thing. But it was always a rat race because you and I stopped competing with each other in terms of progress. We were competing with all the other college students, and their lifestyles and their home choices. And granted, most of these kids live with their parents still, but
Yeah.
we very much adulted in that moment too. Because even though it was very I want to say minimalist, how we chose to populate the house, we made it comfortable enough for everyone to exist in that house.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the best outcome because it wasn't perfect at first, but once you and I figured out what the hey, how do we make everyone happy situation was.
Yeah.
Because it was very much if you saw me, I was low energy or I wasn't willing to get myself out of the house. All right, man, let's take a ride. And then
Yeah.
we'd go do human stuff. It's not even like a, hey, we need soap and hey, we need groceries. It was like a, hey, let's just take a spin. Let's go. I'm short on money, but let's go DoorDash so we can get out the house anyways.
Yeah.
But it always felt like
Really fun times.
Yeah, but it always felt like a rat race because it was like, all right, we're both college. Were you a junior when we moved in together? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're both college juniors. We both gotta pick up the pace. Gotta get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's definitely a weird one. It's funny too because it's still comparative, right? The
crazy, right? When you think about it,
3 and 4 are still very much the same topic.
Crazy. Alrighty, I think we're wrapping it up here. Go ahead and talk about your last FBI topic.
The last thing I wanted to mention, it can be a lot shorter just because a lot more informed people have talked about it. The FBI commented on using like public USB ports like at an airport and how people are stealing your information through those. And it didn't bother me at first because I'm pretty safe. Like I always carry a charging block or something with me to plug into an AC port. But what did bother me is because the thought came back to me randomly while I was on Amazon. There's these 2 nightstands that I wanted to buy that have LEDs on like the first shelf underneath the tabletop.
Yeah.
And the tabletop has a wireless charger for your phone, 2 USB ports, and 2 Edison AC ports.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. I have a lot of things I charge. Like, if I don't want to plug my Switch into the dock in my office, I can have a USB-C with me at my nightstand. I can charge my Switch, my phone, my iPad, my watch, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then it occurred to me, Linus Tech Tips reported on this USB cable that the USB part has enough space in it for it to have skimming technology. If you can fit the technology to skim someone's data on a USB in the actual cable What's stopping the guy on Amazon selling the dresser with the USB ports from doing the same?
That's really scary, dude. Like, honestly.
Because it's like, oh, I'm buying this furniture. The furniture comes disassembled, but I'm not the one who assembles the electronics part. It's
Yeah.
baked into one of the parts. And one of the things about the cable that Linus Tech Tips talked about was once they take your data, there's a command to self-destruct the skimmer part of the cable.
Yeah.
So the cable just looks like cheap cable that broke. It's not a cheap cable, by the way. It's like $100. But very much the same concept, right? If there's more space, the guy could have a wider range, like Wi-Fi card or something inside the housing of the USB ports on that charging station, and they could just self-destruct it, and it looks like my cheap Amazon furniture. The USB just broke.
Yeah.
Like, crazy to think about. Or even a wireless charger, right? What's stopping for an NFC chip from being hidden inside of the wireless charger?
See, what I'm thinking about is, you buy something from Best Buy or Amazon,
Yeah.
you put it in there and you return the item. And then they ship that out, open box to someone else.
Right.
That's
yeah.
scary.
Technically, someone could hide some malware on like a laptop or something, and then they could just send it back.
Because, people, like the gamers have that in their mice.
Yeah.
Like when they have the hacks on for like changing game controllers into mouse and keyboards,
Yeah. That's such an... I see... I was over here thinking about my adulting stuff. You're over there, like, practical application. Like, someone could buy a corrupted laptop, but the laptop registers as A-okay. Because, it's open box at Best Buy, but they had to have checked it, right? They had to have cleared it for refurbished.
Mm-hmm.
That's... Wow. I mean... Technically, there's nothing stopping the guy that works at the Apple factory for the MacBook Pros or the iPads from doing the same thing. Right?
Oh, it's, hey, they're already collecting all the data anyways.
Well, right. Like,
You
piggyback off of what's already being taken and just keep it. I actually got my Apple Pay got skimmed the other day.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I never heard of that one, yeah.
So I was reading about it. It's not impossible, it's just rare. And it's possible that it could have been like a return transaction or something, and then the card information was kept from it.
Yeah.
But either way, luckily the way that Apple Pay works is it was only the one card, so everything else in my Apple Wallet is fine. But
Yeah.
now I do need to call my bank and replace my card again. Which sucks because it was right before the YCS trip. My physical card got skimmed, and I had to replace my physical card.
Man, soon you're just going to be carrying cash.
Honestly, at this point, it sucks because I auto pay everything, so I don't like keeping my cash on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, looks like you made it to the end of another episode. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Chump Change, episode 19, Chump Change, on youtube.com, Spotify, Apple Music. If you liked it, leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If you're watching on Spotify or listening on Apple Music or Spotify, leave 5 stars, leave a comment. Let us know what you liked about the episode or what you didn't like, what you want us to talk about. We like to talk, so talk to us. Let us know.
We like to talk, yeah.
We do like to talk. We do it every week so far. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll catch you
in the next episode. Bye-bye.